Welcome back. So we're going to talk about AWS Config for machine learning compliance. So AWS Config, well, before we start, hit the like button, subscribe, share with anyone you know taking the AWS Machine Learning Associate exam. Config. So Config is a configuration auditing and compliance monitoring service recording the current state of AWS resources. You can track configuration changes over time and evaluate whether resources comply with user-defined or managed rules. For machine learning infrastructure requiring compliance with FedRAMP, HIPAA, or internal governance policy, Config ensures IAM roles used in training jobs are properly scoped, verifies S3s for model data don't allow public access, validates EC2s for training to adhere to cost or performance constraints, and audits compliance over time for reproducibility in machine learning workflows. So what's the core capabilities? All right. That might not have been what I wanted. Okay, so resource recording tracks configurations for EC2, IAM, S3, VPC, and other resources. Rules evaluate configurations using AWS managed rules, over 75 available, or custom Lambda rules. Historical views show compliance history and change timelines for any resource. Integration with CloudTrail traces API calls leading to non-compliance. EventBridge and SNS integration triggers alerts or automation workflows. Remediation actions automate fixes using SSM automation documents. What does this cost? So configuration items cost about 3/100ths of a penny per item recorded per region. Config rule evaluations cost about 1/100th of a penny per evaluation per region. Cross-region aggregation and S3 storage incur additional costs. Optional SNS notifications, EventBridge rules, and custom Lambda evaluations may increase bills. All right. So how would you set up config? Let's go to the console, config. All right. Let's see. Click get started. All right. And then from here, you choose to record all resources or specific resources, right? Do continuous recording or daily recording. Then you'd have some override for certain resources you don't want to track. You can see the list here. It's pretty exhaustive. All right. Keeps going. All right. Set to daily, exclude data governance. Do you want to create an AWS config service role or choose a role? So that's your choice. And then how do you want to have this delivered? Create an S3 bucket, another bucket of your choosing, or a bucket from another account. Enter that S3 bucket name, the prefix, go forward. Let's go forward. All right. And then some rules. Okay. From here, you can select the manage rules. You see at least 63 pages. See that? All right. And then you can go all the way through. From here, you confirm, but we're going to click cancel. All right. And within a few minutes, your resources can be discovered. You can navigate to oh, we didn't, no, because we haven't created it. Okay, that's okay. It's because there should be a dashboard here that'll show it. It's all right. It's not a big deal. Okay, so once you're here, you can also add rules for compliance, right? You can add rules to evaluate all EC2 security groups and marking any group with unrestricted SSH as non-compliance. And then you can set up rules to remediate the non-compliance. So you can remove a rule, reevaluate after a certain amount of time, and make sure that that rule becomes compliant or for that resource. All right. And then you can have automatic remediation within that. You can do it manually, you can do it automated, and it takes a little bit of time to set up, but that is one of the big ways that you can configure retries and set parameters to automate future remediation. But that requires a setup, so we're not going to do that. Take a little bit of time. Okay, so let's see. Over that. All right, services that integrate. We showed you that 63 pages number, right? So CloudTrail shows who made the configuration changes with API level insight. EventBridge detects compliance failures, triggering Lambda or step functions. SNS pushes compliance notifications to email or Slack. SSM can execute remediation playbooks manually or automatically. Athena can query a configuration history from S3 using SQL-like syntax. An organization can use aggregators viewing config data across accounts and regions, right? But basically, it goes on for a long time, the type of resources and environmental states that are managed from config. All right, monitoring. Okay, so CloudWatch monitors performance through metrics, logs, and alarms, tracking model training CPU and GPU usage with customizable retention. CloudTrail can audit API calls and events showing who modified IAM roles tied to, let's say, SageMaker with a 90-day default retention and an S3 export capability. Config can track configuration compliance through snapshots, evaluating whether resources like a bucket is encrypted, and then can store data in an S3 with notifications via SNS and EventBridge. So you see how these all work together to secure your environment. So what about in machine learning? Okay. So consider SageMaker workloads where CloudWatch monitors CPU and GPU utilization during training jobs. CloudTrail shows IAM users or automation triggering SageMaker jobs start and stop. Config would ensure only approved instance types like ml.ps are used, and encryption is enabled on S3 buckets and EBS volumes, and that IAM roles have MFA enforced and are rotated. If a developer accidentally opened a port 22 on a training EC2, config would detect it via restricted SSH rule, remediation triggers with SSM and remove the rule, and then CloudTrail logs the user who made the change, and SNS would notify the security team. So for the exam, when there are questions asking about ensuring S3s are encrypted, validating EC2 instances for training, or automating compliance remediation and machine learning infrastructure, config provides the configuration auditing service continuously evaluating resource compliance against defined rules, maintaining historical records of changes, and integrating with CloudTrail for forensics, EventBridge for alerting, and SSM for automated remediation supporting secure and auditable AI architectures in regulated environments. So thank you for joining. Before we go, hit the like button, subscribe, or share with anyone you know taking the AWS Machine Learning Associate exam. Have a good day.